Well, we're in our furthest field from home. It's not quite dry enough to really be out here. I guess it's dry enough to be out here, but not as dry as I'd like to see it. But at some point, you just gotta get hay done. First cut needs to be over and behind us so we can focus in on what's coming next. The spring just keeps dragging on. It never stops raining. But today's a day where I am very grateful to be having a cab with air conditioning because it is blistering hot out. But some decent looking grass. There's a little more clover in it than I want to see, but still excited to be here. This is about 24 miles from home. Yesterday while I was hauling the big baler back, I think my wife, she mowed down the 25 acres. That's 18 miles? 18 miles from home, I think. So yeah, we got a little bit more travel than I love, but got to get it done. Well, the field's all done here. This is kind of where a lot of our stuff started at about 4 years ago. I found an ad on Marketplace for 15 acres of standing hay, and we decided to do it against my better judgment because we had a lot of issues out here, really did. It was kind of a real bear to get it baled. I think that first year I was mowing it, blew out a carrier bearing in on the PTO shaft for the mower. I only had like the ends off, and then like I had opened up like the center, because you know before the center pivot, you know you open up the field, section it off, and then just do your circles like that. Got it done the next day though, fixed it, got the field mowed. Then parked the tractor here, hauled the mower back with the truck, bring the rake out with the truck, because you know 25 miles, 24 miles, I'm not bringing the tractor back and forth, especially when it goes 18 miles an hour down the road. So raking actually went well, I guess. Nothing happened there. I mean, rakes usually don't break very often, but baling, I think it took us 3 days to bale this 15 acres. It was like 800 bales. Missing knots, we just had piles all over, and then we spent like half a day just driving around picking up piles of hay with the baler. And then rebaling hay that had been rebaled once or twice already because it just missed another knot and another knot. So we got it done. Nothing broke. We're gonna head home, 30 mile an hour, and the air conditioning. This is pretty nice. Starting to get pretty busy now. We just got the gooseneck fixed. Hauled that big square baler home the whole way there. It was about 7 hours there. I don't know how long it took to get back, 7-8 hours, something like that. But obviously everything went fine going back because you had all the weight on the neck. But when we went to unload it, and the weight got behind the axles on the trailer, the sleeves just pulled right apart. The trailer came right up off of the ball on the truck. Well, the internal sleeve coupler of the gooseneck was still on the ball of the truck. Obviously the trailer lifted up off of that. The two separated the jam nuts. Welds broke, so obviously those loosened up, so there was nothing really holding that sleeve in there. The only thing keeping it from collapsing on it was I had a newer internal that had a slot where you put a pin through, so I kept it from collapsing down and smashing my tailgate. But we welded the external portion that came with that internal one that I just bought onto the gooseneck, so that's done. Just got done getting fuel, and we're gonna see if we can do some baling yet tonight. It's just about 7 o'clock now, just pushing 7 o'clock. I'm figuring 18 miles to get to the field. We're gonna be lucky if we're dropping any bales and wagons by 8. Sun don't set till probably 9:30 or so. Maybe we can get a couple wagons loaded tonight if it's dry. I don't know, but then I gotta get the big square baler. Hopefully it's just that one part and we can get it running tomorrow. I don't know what to expect out of it, but hopefully that's all it is, and be a few $100 in bearings and get it going. I think the nearest ones, if I remember right, were 2 hours away. We bought some from the John Deere dealer, but I'm at the point where it's like I gotta press them in anyways. We did get the one bolt out on the top just by cutting it off with the Sawzall, but in the process we destroyed that bearing, so now we have a second one that needs replaced. So I'm at the point where I might just go to the nearest New Holland or Case IH dealer that's got it, and I think that's about 2 hours south. Maybe they can press them in for us. That'd be ideal. So that'd be about 4 hours of driving plus, I assume, an hour of actually buying it, getting it pressed in, and getting that all done. So yeah, that'll be tomorrow morning's project. I'm gonna take off work, have my wife go and do that. If we get anything baled tonight, I'll probably unload that by myself tomorrow. That would be only a load or two, or just get unloaded what I can. Maybe it just be one load, you know, before I want to go rake the grass that I mowed yesterday. That stuff I did drive through some standing water to mow it, so that wasn't ideal. That was just in one spot. I mowed around that. Is what it is. The rest of the field was dry. There's some, you know, that was just the lowest spot of the field. The rest of it's good and dry. I mean, the lugs barely sink in most of the field. Some spots, some other low areas, they did sink in a little bit, but we weren't dragging up mud at least. That grass is starting to get mature. It's going to dry down really quick, especially in this 91, 95 degree heat we had, which was a lot of fun welding on that trailer when it's this freaking hot out. But we got it done. Took it to where my dad works. He works in maintenance at a factory, and he was able to get us access to their welding shop. And it was pretty tight getting it into there and backing it out of the shop. Just basically took it up over the curb because there's no way I was going to be able to control where that trailer was going, and it was so tight getting it in. But the joys of long trailers, I guess, sometimes, but it's nice being able to haul a lot. But yeah, just follow along and we'll just keep showing you what's going on, because we just picked up some more custom work, which he just wants the end rows kind of bailed off. But he kind of talked to him a little bit, and we might just end up taking it on shares. So he wants these end rows bailed off so they're a little weedier, and he doesn't have the help to get everything unloaded. So he was going to have me just custom round bale it, but then he asked if I'd be interested in buying the hay. So I told him, well, if we're doing that, if I can get my square baler going, I'd rather just big square bale it, because I think it's going to bring more per ton doing that. And what we'll do is just whatever we get, we'll take one load to auction. Whatever we end up getting at auction, he'll get to keep half of it for all of the bales we harvest, and the other half I'll just put in the barn, and hopefully prices go up over winter and we can capitalize on some of that and go from there. But if we run short on storage or something and we end up hauling to auction anyhow, it'll be all right. I think it's like a 14-acre field. He just wants like the outside 6 or 7 rows, so it might only be about 4 or 5 acres we'd be baling. Nothing crazy, but still a little bit, and it's not too far out of the way. I'd say no more than a mile, mile and a half out of the way coming back from the field. That's 18 miles north of us, and that's 25 acres there. There's 3 acres. It's maybe 2-3 miles off of the path back from that field, and then his will just be a little further south, also just right off of the route home. So it's kind of nice when things work out that way. But yeah, we got a lot of baling ahead of us. I don't know if we have our equipment right where I want to be. The round baler I know is working, so at least we have that as a backup and something simple and easy. We can just turn the key and go. It's hooked up and ready to rock and roll, you know. But I just don't think the value's there in round, so I try to limit round. I will try to limit round baling as I can, you know, moving forward. Just unless it's like wet stuff or something, I just don't think it has a lot of value, or I want to store outside. There'll be cases where round baling is definitely nice, and then also having it as a backup if the big square baler goes down, which I expect it to, as cheap as we bought it, and it's not necessarily a new machine. Who knows what type of problems we're going to be walking into, but definitely nice having some different options. A little bit of rain coming Wednesday, so hopefully we can get everything baled off before then. It's Sunday now. We got 2 days to knock out over 45 acres, give or take, with about a 35-mile spread between some of the fields, and we're in the middle of it. So yeah, we'll see how tonight goes. Well, I got 3 wagons hooked up. My wife already took off with the tractor, baler, and the wagon. I had to fuel this up, unhook the trailer, a couple other odds and ends. And now the front-facing camera on my phone isn't working, so I guess hopefully we can get some footage. I don't know how much baling we'll do tonight, but this heat's wearing me out. We got a few more days of it. No air conditioning in the house. I don't mind farming because I got air conditioning in this truck. I got AC in 2 nicer tractors, so almost rather be here than sitting around the house, I guess. So definitely got to watch yourself on these corners. I thought, you know, I was under 3 wagons probably corners better than the 36-foot gooseneck does, though. at about this point, we unloaded 8 loads of small square bales, 4 in the morning, 4 in the evening, and I think we had over 84 miles of driving. At least I did, 84 miles of driving on the road with that round baler. 105 round bales in the day between 4 different fields, 35 in this field. So we're loading the square bales. There's, I think, 26 large squares in this field and a little over 1,300 small squares. And we had 16 round bales in another field, 4 in another, and then that was all north of our house, and then the 25 miles south of the house we had about 50 round bales. So that was a busy day, still got a lot done. I think this day we finished around 2 in the morning. Definitely got a lot out of the